Hi everyone, this is Tony from Zarian Software, and in this video I'm going to take you through a crash course of the new FormBuilder. So let's go ahead and jump right in. When we load the new interface, you're going to be greeted with a welcome banner the first time that you load it. It's going to offer you to take a guided tour, but for the sake of this video we're going to go ahead and skip the tour because we're too excited. What you'll notice is the first page that you land on is similar to what we had before, which is a list of all your forms, but it's been redesigned with a table view and a search bar at the top. This is going to let you find what you're looking for much faster than having to scroll through a long list of forms trying to find the one that you need to work on. So what you can see is we can just type in the word job, and it's actually going to do a search locally for any of the forms that we've loaded already that have the word job in them. If for some reason we came up with no results, it will actually send the request back to the server to see if there's any other forms we haven't loaded yet that match our search criteria. In addition to searching, you can actually expose more information about the form, such as the created date or the version. We have some more options down here which are less commonly used, but they are available if you want to see those. Now that we found the form that we're interested in working in, let's go ahead and jump in and see what the new builder interface looks like. The default view is actually going to load this 3-pane layout, but what you'll notice is that there are several other options available if you prefer to have your input properties and your fields on the left-hand side and the device view on the right, or vice versa, where you have the input properties on the right-hand side and the device view on the left, which is more like what you're used to seeing in the old interface. I'm going to just zoom out a little bit since I'm on my laptop to give you an idea of what this would look like if you were on a larger screen and you're able to stretch the window out. So the main design layout that we've picked is this one here, where you have 3 different windows, and on the left hand side you'll have all the input fields that you can select from to add to your form. On the right hand side you have all of the input properties that are available for those particular inputs. So you'll scroll down and you'll see that you have your smart control, your condition values, and all those things that you're used to seeing. One thing to point out is that we have alternate views, so if you prefer to see this on a different view, let's say an iPad, you have the opportunity to do that. We even have some different options down here for Android devices. So you have the flexibility to pick whichever one you like, and it'll change the layout of the device itself. Just to show you what these others look like, you can toggle between them and it will still display the same information. In the 2-pane you'll have to flip between the input properties and fields, and we feel that the 3-pane offers the best layout for efficiency when you're either building or editing forms. The one I haven't clicked on yet is this new one, and this is basically a table edit view. So what you can see is something more like Excel, where you have the name, the label, and the field type, as well as some options here to either duplicate or cut and paste these fields. So just another way to basically build or edit forms. We wanted to focus on flexibility in different building styles, so that's why we came up with those 4 options. I want to jump back into the 3-pane mode just to give you an idea of where some other things are. The form properties are actually saved up here. So the form name, the icon, any reference IDs that you may use are stored under the the wrench and the screwdriver icon. So we could come in here, we can make some changes, let's say a different icon, and then save those changes. The page level JavaScript actually gets its own window, and we felt this was necessary to accommodate just a better experience across the board. So you can see that I have some JavaScript in here, and we're using some syntax highlighting to make it easier to find errors that you may have. Additionally, if you prefer to have a little more space, you can expand this to go full screen, and then the whole window is going to basically be taken up with the code editor. When you're all done, you can either save and close, or in this case we just wanted to view, so we'll close. That walks through pretty much the building canvas. A new major overhaul, and this is actually so important that it got its own tab, is basically where you can build and edit option lists. So at the top you'll notice that there's an option list tab up here, and we'll go ahead and click on that. This is actually loading a view similar to before, where we have all of our option lists laid out in a table, a search bar above, and we're able just to kind of scroll down through if we prefer, or we can run a search. So we'll search for another list which has the word job in it, and we can click to load. So from here, the default view is similar to the view we were just on, so you can see the label, the key value, and then the sort order for those options. And I can actually add more options down here to the bottom, Or if I have, let's say, many other things to add, I could even flip over and either choose this raw option where I can add in a bunch of different ones, so Tony, Keith, Joe, something like that. I can even choose where I put those, whether they're below or above a certain sort order in my existing list. Another option that we've introduced is the ability to upload a CSV file. So the CSV file can take your label, your key value, and your sort order and basically upload that to a list. Another notable feature to add while we're on the option list section is the idea that you can actually assign a list. So in this case, I'll just go back here. We're on this, in this job activities list. We could assign this to other forms and other elements from within this editor. So previously, you would have had to go to the form that you wanted to have use this list, pick the element, and then select the list. We decided to flip things around and say, well, if you're on the list, why not allow users to basically say, I want it to associate to these elements in these forms? So I think basically we can just jump in and do Truth's iPad form, and we'll actually see that there are no option list elements for this particular form. So let me just scroll down a little bit. I think I have a different one. And let's see, we can do this one here. Oh, maybe not. This is what happens when you try to do things on the fly. So anyway, we know that one exists actually in our job form, so let's just search for that. So I'll use the search bar again and pick the new job estimate. And I guess I'm striking out there because there's probably nothing on that. So how about we do this? We'll do a list. And so if I click on this form called Basic Information, you can see that I have 3 different fields which have option lists that could be associated with them. So from here I can say that I want the occupation, and just for the sake of doing it, I want the social network to also have this list. So from here I can say assign, and now this list for the jobs has been assigned to those 2 elements within that form. Just to show you what we've done, we can jump over and basically look for that form and say basic information. And now, when we load this form, we'll be able to go and inspect those 2 elements and see that they actually are now assigned that new option list, or the existing option list that I had loaded previously about job information. So we'll scroll down, and it was social network, which was 1. So we'll take a look at the option list, and this was job. So you can see job activity actions. That's the one that we actually have assigned. So when I filter down to just J, you can see I have a couple other lists where I can scroll down and show that it's been selected. And I think if we take a look at this other one here, we did not touch gender, so gender is still the gender list that was originally assigned. But if we look at the occupation, which I changed, then we can see it's also assigned job activity actions. So just another way to do things. Should cut down on the back and forth and the clicks that you have to make in order to make these edits or updates to your forms. So that pretty much does it for the crash course. We do appreciate your feedback at many levels, whether it's interface, whether it's the experience. Things don't make sense because they're either taking too long to do something, or they just don't feel right. So anything that you feel is necessary to share, definitely share it with us. And of course, this doesn't seem to be responding right now. If you do want to take the tour at any time after you've loaded the interface the first time, you can go ahead and click on this tour option here, and you'll see that you can pick the building forms one. It's pretty short, so we'll just walk through real quick. It'll highlight a few things, give you some pointers, just show you where things are. So again, thanks for taking the time to look at this with us, and if you have any questions or ideas for us, definitely feel free to reach out, and we hope you have a great weekend.